Meltdown, and today I am joined by.
Jack Gibson of Exodus and Category 7.
It's an absolute pleasure and honor to be chatting to you today. I've got to say, Category 7, your new album, or your debut band's album, is amazing. It's a
Thank you, man.
It's a Metalhead's wet dream, man. How pleased are you with the finished product?
Yeah, man, I think it turned out great. I mean, especially it kind of started out as kind of informal, sending tracks back and forth through the mail with friends, and then it really, turned into something that I think is pretty good.
It's amazing. I love it. And
Yeah.
you released two singles so far, and Exhausted has only been out a short while.
Mhm.
94,000 views. That's incredible, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I must say, I also love the inspiration behind this track. It's something that affects me all the fucking time.
Oh, me too. Yeah,
It's
me too.
awful.
Since I quit drinking about 10 years ago, and since I quit drinking, I have not had one good night of sleep since then, you know. Like I'm glad I quit and all that
Yeah,
garbage,
yeah,
and I'm sure I feel better than I would have if I was still pounding like I used to,
man.
but yeah, my brain is just so active at night, and I never sleep, you
I'm the
know.
same, man. You're in
Yeah.
overdrive, aren't you? And it's like I've,
Yeah.
I've worked nights for a very long time, and I've started a day job now. And I know I've got to be up at 5 in tomorrow morning. I'm like, I'm not going to get any fucking sleep. You're going to lie there and you're
Yeah.
going to
Yeah. Right.
so, so exhausted just sums
Yeah.
it up for me totally, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've, I've got to say, it is such a fantastic album and doesn't get released for a while yet. Will you be releasing any more singles, videos, do you think?
I think so, because I think um we have five videos, and so I think the videos are coming out one a month,
Brilliant.
um back to back. So
I mean, it is, you probably hate the term, but it is a super group at the end of the day. And it's probably one of the better
yeah.
super groups. It is.
I mean, I mean, it's, in the purest definition of the term. Yeah. I mean, it's a bunch of us from other bands that kind of
Yeah.
kicked ideas in, and it's mostly was the stuff I played, mostly Mike made it. Like
Yeah.
they sent me stuff with the bass tracks already on it, and I mean, Mike's no fucking slouch, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it's 90%, what he did when he recorded, the bass, just to have a bass track on there. And
Yeah.
which, to me sometimes it's like, I also do this with Exodus. I make the guitar player play it,
Yeah.
because they approach it a little bit different than my clinical, like, chord structure brain bullshit does. They just kind of rock it, and they play it in a certain position on the bass, and
Mhm.
then I go, oh, okay, it's a trip, and it gives me more ideas than I give myself, basically, you know what I mean? So I do that with Gary too. Even when we're in there recording, he never plays the bass. I just put a bass in his hand and take my phone and go, play the song for me, and he goes, like that, and then that's 90% what I'm gonna do,
Yeah.
because for one thing, it makes him happy. So I go in, I record, and I don't have to fight with Gary about where or what something is. It's mostly what he already thinks is supposed to be there. He's always totally receptive to ideas when I go, hey, I think this, you know what I mean? And he goes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool. And then we'll do that. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I let them map it out, and I play in that map.
Yeah. You actually, I'm going to jump ahead with this question. You're saying about doing it on the phone. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Like when you started out in Exodus, and when I got into metal back in the early 80s, that's how you could be able to do things and be able to just fucking do it with your phone like that. It's just,
Yeah, Totally,
unbelievable, isn't it?
totally. Yeah. Well, not only that, um, I live here in Nashville and I play in, jams all the time and stuff, and they just tell you what song you're going to play. And I just go to YouTube and there's some kid, nailing it to the floor. And I just
Yeah.
watch him play it and go, okay, like I used to have to, you had to sit there and fast forward, rewind, rewind,
Yeah,
rewind, play, rewind, play. And I don't do that shit anymore, man. I just watch some kid do it,
yeah. Life's so much easier in many ways, I
Yeah,
guess.
totally.
All right, so yeah, John Bush, he just sounds so fresh, and I think really he never really gets the recognition as a singer, does he? I don't think so. Anyway, he's never really had that recognition.
I mean, Hetfield likes him. What more recognition do you need other than that?
Yeah,
I mean, I think a lot of the guys in our era got, you know, stuck in their little, places, these, amazingly awesome musicians who moved the needle on everything. And John's one of those guys, man. I mean,
yeah,
he's always been pretty much the best singer in, metal. You
I
know what
think
I mean? And
I agree.
um I mean, when he, I mean, he's always been doing his thing with Saint, and then, he came into Anthrax and literally made like their best selling and, like, hookiest stuff almost, you know what I mean? And that's just what he does. He kind of came into this project and just, he was like, do you like this? And it's like, yeah, we like it, man. It's good.
Sort of like from the two tracks you have released, there's been like comments on YouTube saying that's possibly one of the best albums of 2024. That must be so gratifying for you.
Yeah, shit. I mean,
It's just
it's good to know. I mean, it's good, it's good. That's good to know because, we just kind of put stuff together and we were like, well, let's kind of see what happens. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And so, yeah, it is good to hear that it's being received well,
absolutely. So, what will you guys be doing on release day? Do you plan to get together?
No, no. I mean, we're all so busy, man, that we're all on our own,
Yeah,
missions all the time anyway. Jason's playing here, Phil's got 10 gigs that he's playing. I'm doing stuff with Exodus,
yeah,
and I mean, it's hard to get us all, on the same page
yeah,
ever. So,
yeah.
you know.
I can imagine, man. So, I mean, obviously, you're very busy with your other bands, your main bands. Are there like plans to try and get out on a tour? Would that be a
Yeah,
possibility?
of course. Yeah. That's, I was just basically talking to our manager, just a little while ago about it, because we're all so busy. It's very hard to it's very hard to get us all open at the same time, basically. So I mean, it's entirely possible that the first time the band goes out to play, there might be a plug-in player for one of us,
Yeah, imagine, man.
because if a great tour comes up and we can't pass it up, but I'm already booked on an Exodus thing. I'm like, you guys, I mean, I've told them
Absolutely.
that before, like grab somebody and go. I mean, this is already kind of a collaborative project,
Yeah,
type of thing. And, grab somebody else from another band and, take them out and play. I mean, look at all the guys that are playing for everybody else lately. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like Junior and Frankie and, you know what I mean? Like everybody's like jumping
Yeah,
to different teams and doing all kinds of different shit. And it's fun to see,
it is, man.
Um, so I kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if on, one of these tours or whatever, I might not be there or whatever.
The album is like I say. I think every track is fantastic. There's no filler on the album. We probably get asked this question a lot, but what would you say is your favorite track? But let's spin that a bit. What's your favorite track on the album to date and why?
Well, I always say it's a good sign when you can't quite put your finger on your favorite track. You know what
Mm,
I mean? That means that they're all pretty good. Like when it kind of moves around, like, oh
mm.
no, that's my, I like that one. Then, oh no, I think that's my favorite now. So that's pretty hard to say. I think maybe my favorite is it's a song called Apple of Discord.
Yeah, I like that.
Um, and I'm not sure
Clever.
when I think we did do that as a video, so it
Right.
will come out as a single. And yeah, I really like that one. The chorus is, I think that has my favorite chorus.
Yeah.
It's real, just real heavy and poundy, and so I think
Yeah.
one of the things about about like this band that I think is kind of cool, and I know everybody says this, but I think it's kind of true with this band, is it doesn't really sound like anybody else. Like
No,
we
it's true.
don't, like we're not trying to be this type of band or that. It was just a bunch of like creative collaboration, and like this came out, and it's even like each song doesn't sound like the other songs. You know what I mean? Where like some bands it's like you can tell it's these five dudes
Yeah.
playing all these songs, and John's approach to all of them is like really just kind of off the wall and like unique, and it just doesn't really sound like anything that's really out there right now. So I think that's kind of a benefit. It's kind of a fresh sound.
I mean, I'm blessed, truly blessed that I get sent albums before release. And honestly, I love it so much. I mean, it's probably one of my albums of the year. And, you know, I don't know. Yeah, it just sounds like you're a young band, just like starting out. Seriously.
Yeah, yeah,
It really
yeah.
does.
And it's just a bunch of old friends, you know what I mean? Like,
With your time with Exodus, you would have played all around the world many times.
yeah.
Is there a particular place that has the fondest memory for you?
Oh man, there's really so many. We really love playing down in South America a
Yeah,
lot. Probably we supported Maiden in Chile at the you know stadium there at night, and it was Tom's birthday, and that was a special night. It was 70 or 80,000
yeah,
people, and they're fucking crazy down there, and
yeah,
um, yeah, it was like 70,000 people and like 500 dogs in the stadium. There was dogs everywhere. It was
yeah,
crazy. But yeah, I mean, there's been, man, there's just been countless special moments, with these guys. Like when I
yeah,
first got in the band, we were rolling around with Rick and Bailoff and shit. Like that was fucking crazy times. You know what I mean? Like there was just, it was like, it was like, big time wrestling. It was like WWE, every night with those guys,
yeah,
just partying and just
yeah,
going absolutely crazy. And so yeah, man, there's just a lot of good times, a lot of good places, and everywhere we go, we have good friends, and
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
I can remember
it's
like I was really into new wave of British heavy metal, like 1980, 81. And then you guys, Exodus, Metallica, you all started like getting featured in Kerrang. You're like listening to the Friday Night Rock Show over here in England. It's like, fuck, what's this? This is
yeah,
awesome.
right.
It's just like
Yeah.
amazing. And I can
Yeah.
imagine like you guys back then were living the rock and roll lifestyle, partying and
Oh
everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it was crazy. And I wasn't around even in the band during their like real crazy days. Which was like the Ruthies in,
Yeah.
like the formative years, when all the bands were hanging out together, and all that shit. Like, they were, yeah, I hear stories about then. It was absolutely crazy. So
So going back in time, can you remember then the first time you ever picked up a guitar and thought, "Yeah, I want to do this for a living"? And are you surprised you still are?
I am very surprised. Yeah. I
You
mean,
shouldn't be really, 'cause you're amazing, mate. But
I don't know when I really decided that that's what I really totally wanted to do. I I'd only been playing bass for a couple of years when I decided to go to BIT. I went to MI down in Hollywood.
Mm,
Um, my best friend had gone. He was an awesome guitar player,
yeah,
and he went, and I went and visited him, and I just walked into the school and auditioned in person, and they were like, "Yeah, okay, you can come." And I was like, "Shit, I better go get the money." And so maybe then, when I went into the school, and
yeah,
but it just, I don't know. I mean, I never even like did it with the super focused goal of like I need to get in a band, and I need, like, it all kind of just happened. It all kind of came my way. Like as I was learning how to play, a band said, "Hey, we need a bass player," and they were a really cool thrash band, and I kind of, cut my teeth with them just having fun. And we moved up to the Bay. And then eventually I met the Exodus dudes and got in a band with Tom and Gary.
yeah,
And it was all just kind of like being at the right place at the right time, and doing the right thing. You know what I mean? When they go, "Hey, why don't you come play?" I go, "Okay." And like being able to do it,
yeah,
you know. And so I never really like I never really focused on it. Like before I knew it, like I was in kind of fuck around bands, and then before I knew it, I was in Exodus, and I was on the bus going, "Holy shit, I actually am on a tour bus." And so that's kind of how
yeah.
it worked out for me.
What do you put Exodus's longevity down to and their popularity still? Because you guys are still massive and still selling out arenas.
Well, I think that some of it. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, some of it is just that Gary and Tom, like, they were like just, mean kids from the mean part of town. Like
Yeah,
they were from Richmond, and they weren't fuck around rich kids. They were got in fights, fight, fight for your bike so it doesn't get stolen
yeah,
type guys. And they really have the real the real attitude. It wasn't like guys going, "Oh, we want to play this." Like they were just kind of like an Iron Maiden cover band and kept playing shit faster and faster and faster because the guys in the backyard parties were, reacting to it more and more. And I think that you know, they really are still in touch with that original power source. And we
yeah.
never got rich. It might be kind of hard to get mad when you're sitting on your yacht. You know what I mean? I don't know. I've never done it, but like we've never gotten to that successful level where it's not interesting still to us. And it's just, we like when we get together to make music, which is mostly Gary and Tom
Yeah.
sitting down and hammering stuff out. We always think about what's the pit gonna do at this change, and what are the people in the crowd going to think. And so it's just a real um like a pure energy source, you know what I mean, for that type of music.
Absolutely, mate.
And I gotta say, like, every time it's time to sit down and make new music, man, Gary, he just does it. He sits down, he makes up stuff. It's new, but it still sounds like us. It's stylistic, but he always brings something new in because he always is listening to like new music and black metal and like all kinds of stuff. And he always like steers new things in, and he always amazes me, man. Like he's the man. Like Gary really is. He's one of those guys.
Amazing. Okay, so it's a bit of a fun question, a bit of a thinker. If there was a made up thrash metal song about yourself, what would it be called?
Oh, Jesus. I have no idea. That's a, that's a hard one. Wake up, Jack.
Sweet, yeah. Why not? I love it. Okay. So then, how would you describe Category 7 in 4 words?
Hmm. I don't know. I'd say melodic, heavy, rocking metal.
Yeah, mine was melodic killer metal heaven.
Yeah, right.
Sweet.
I think, there's a strange amount of rock in the
Yeah,
category 7 stuff.
yeah, there
Um,
is.
where it's not really like, this like pushing the envelope all the time. Like Exodus, we're like a race
Mm,
car,
yeah,
like a dragster, like sitting on the line. We're ready to go.
yeah,
Everything is a
yeah.
and and some of the category 7 stuff, it's just kind of rock,
It is,
and
mate. Yeah.
John really made the music.
Mm.
He just made it, extra special.
It's
We were all just
honestly,
jamming and, making these cool things. And then he put these hooks on it and stuff that, like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I
it
had
is.
no idea that was even there. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, a lot of it, I think, has to do with him. That's going to be the link between
Mhm.
us and the people.
Absolutely. Well, again, I want to congratulate you on it, guys. Honestly, man, it's brilliant. The first one is your favorite ever album.
Moving Pictures by Rush.
Cool. Your favorite food.
Sushi.
Favorite festival.
Favorite festival?
Yeah.
I like Hellfest right now.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I think Hellfest is a great festival, although they made it kind of not as fun for the artist.
Hmm.
Like it used to be the artist area was right there behind
Mm.
the main stages, and then they bust us off like almost a mile away, and we have to take shuttles over there and stuff. So it's not as fun as it used to be. But I think for the fan, I think that's one of the best ones. It looks so cool. Everything's on fire at night, and it's all that
Yeah,
brushed steel. It's like you're living in the Road Warrior heavy metal festival.
absolutely. And who would
Yeah.
you say has been your favorite inspirational person?
Hmm. Well, I'm gonna say, I mean, right now what jumps right to my mind is Billy Sheehan.
Okay.
He's and not just because of his playing. I emulated a lot of what he did. Like I kind of was like, I want to do that, but in Slayer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and but also like he's just like a good dude, and especially like he doesn't even know me. You know what I mean? Like he remembers my face, and you know what I mean. And when I go, hey, I'm Jack from Exodus, and he's, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's always got a couple minutes for me, and I've watched him with other people. I've watched him at the NAMM show, and he gives everybody their minute. You know what I mean? And like he's just a man. He's a great guy. Because I'm not like that. Like I get super frustrated with people, and I'm living in my own world, and I'm like trying to work things out, and some guy wants to talk to me about the
Yeah, man.
the
Yeah,
creator catalog of albums, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about this right now. You know what I mean? And
I do actually.
but I've just seen Billy just take it. Like he just
Yeah.
takes it. You know what I mean? And that's an inspiration. And when I'm feeling like that, I think of him and go, all right, tell me about creator. So.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you so much for your time today. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and listeners?
Man, I hope you guys like the new album, and look for us out on the road. And with Exodus 2, we're going to be making a new album at the beginning of the year, and we'll be back out doing it.